My name is Ryan Williams. I'm a full-time guide slash fly tyer, and today I'm going to teach you guys how to tie a pattern of mine. I call it the Williams Wakasagi. It imitates the pond smelt, the Wakasagi that we have out here on Lake Oroville and in Northern California in general. Just a really good all-around baitfish fly that works anywhere though. Really, it doesn't have to resemble an actual Wakasagi. And in fact, this olive and white color, these aren't even the Wakasagi colors. Just a good general go-to color for a floating fly. Now this is a Wapsi super jig hook in the 16th ounce. I'm just going to add in a little flash for the tail here. Whoa. And then I always go pretty, I go a pretty generous amount of Flashabou on the tail there. It is easier to, or you're better off going too much flash than too little of flash. So we're just building a collar on this fly. It makes the fly look way more realistic, or that makes the profile look way more realistic. At least. And it doesn't matter what kind of material you use or what color the material is. We're just tying in something to build up a collar and beef up the profile on the head a little bit. And we're going to wrap thread all around this as well. So like I said, the color doesn't matter. It's just going to be all covered in thread. And I want to keep this color nice and even as well. This is just chenille like you would use on, say, a San Juan worm. Any color chenille. I think it's the medium size. Now I'm just covering this whole thing up here. And doing the collar also secures that weight, that lead weight on there a little bit. When the fly starts bouncing off rocks and whatnot, that lead's going to deform a little bit and kind of lose its shape, but that collar keeps it pushed up nice and tight, makes it last longer. So now we're going to add the cream craft fur here, or white. Do three loose wraps, and then I'm going to spread it. And I always cut it right when I'm done. You could cut it all at once when you got all the materials in there, but I like cutting it each time. It does save me a little headache. For our blend here, this is the UV white or the UV off white. I'm going to use these tapering scissors. I'm going to do 3 snips down starting about a quarter of the way down. 1, 2, 3. Comb that excess and throw it in the little trash bin. Now we're going to move it all around and get those lines out from where we cut it. Now we have a nice, even, natural taper for a baitfish profile. Now we're going to tie this on top of the of the cream craft fur. Same deal, 3 loose wraps, and then spread it. And I'm tying it. I'm giving myself a little gap there, so I got some stuff to work with on the other side when I tie in the top materials. Now we're going olive. The fly is gonna be olive and white. So we're gonna go olive bucktail next instead of the craft for the base layer. And you could do this fly. It's going to be the flash and slinky on top. You could just skip the bucktail, but I prefer having a little base layer of a natural color on there. Makes it pop. This stuff can kind of tend to be a little bit see-through, so when you have this behind it, that makes the profile pop a little bit more. Looks a little better to the fisherman, at least, I think. And we're just adding that little bit in there. Not bringing it past the tail. I want to leave a little bit of a flash tail sticking out there. And that was the same deal, just three loose wraps. And then we cinch it. There's 3 loose wraps, spread it, and then cinch it down. Cut this all off. Now we're doing some more synthetics on top. This is Flash and Slinky, just olive. Going 3 snips with the tapering scissors. Brush the scraps off. Move it around, get those lines out. And then I've got a bit much here. Now we got a nice even taper there. That thread of spin. Then same deal, repeat the process. 3 loose wraps, spread it, and cinch it down. Now just gonna trim the excess. Put a little thread over that just to kind of clean it up a tad. Doesn't need to be too clean though. It's all going to be glued over anyways. Now the big secret, the Copic marker to color it. Everybody always asks, am I putting some kind of paint on here, then throwing these things in the oven to color these heads? Nope, way more simple than that whole process. Just go in a marker, and then I glue the UV glue on top of it. And I'm coloring the lead ball there. The top half of it, I'm coloring that in olive as well. And now this 16th ounce fly, the profile doesn't look too good on it. It's got that big ball on the head, but when you do the 32nd ounce fly, the ball is smaller. It has a much more realistic looking profile. But these 16th ounces are really good for getting down deeper. I use them in if I'm going 10 feet of water or more. 10 to 15 feet, I'll use the 16th ounce. Anything less than that, I'm going the 32nd ounce. Now we're just gluing on the eyes here. We're going to use the Loon UV thick. Just going to tack the eyes on first. I still got some. I'm going to put that on the actual thread itself. I'm not gluing the eye on the weight. I'm gluing it more so on the thread. Sometimes if you have only a small amount of thread on there, you go kind of half on the thread, half on the weight. But if you can get that eye glued onto the thread, it's going to hold a lot better, as opposed to gluing it on the lead weight. Hit that with the light real quick here. That's tacked on. Now we're just doing a bunch of this UV thick, same deal, going over the whole the whole head, the lead ball, the eyes, everything. And just go a real generous amount. You kind of need a lot of this stuff to cover these 16th ounce heads. And the beauty of this stuff is you can have the head looking all nice, or it could be all messed up and deformed. It doesn't need to look very pretty, because once you color it and then put the glue over it, it makes it look really nice. You turn the dirtiest of heads real clean. Hit that with the light for a good couple seconds. And that's it. 16th ounce olive white floating fly right there.